Where do deleted items go on the hard drive? After reading the quote below on the Casey Anthony trial, CNN, I'm curious about where deleted files actually go on a hard drive, how they can be seen after being deleted, and to what extent the data can be recovered, fully, partially, etc. Earlier in the trial, experts testified that someone conducted the keyword searches on a desktop computer in the home Casey Anthony shared with her parents. The searches were found in a portion of the computer's hard drive that indicated they had been deleted. Detective Sandra Osborne of the Orange County Sheriff's Office testified Wednesday in Anthony's capital murder trial. I know some of the questions here on super user address third-party software that can be used for this kind of thing, but I'm more interested in how this data can be seen after deletion, where it resides on the hard drive, etc. I find the whole topic intriguing, so any additional insight is welcome.
In general, deleted files don't go anywhere. They remain on the disk exactly as they were until they happen to get overwritten. When they are deleted, a link to it is simply removed from the file system structure.
Imagine a library in 1970. You had all the shelves with the books on them, and you had drawers with cards that could tell you where the book you were looking for was located. On a hard drive, you have a table, the drawers, that's separate from the files, the books. Your operating system references this table when it needs to find data. It then goes to the location of the book with its read head or whatever the device uses and reads the data there. When a user decides to delete a file, the computer just erases the contents of the table for that location. This basically puts a blank card for that file in the table. Because it would take more time and power for the computer to go to each location and actually erase the file, it just leaves it there. Then, because the book is still physically in the library, even though it's not on their records, it's possible for special software to read all of the books and find out what's recently been deleted, as long as it hasn't been written over since then.
Tyler Fail's analogy is great. The data doesn't go anywhere. The address of it is simply marked as free space, and is then overwritten when new data needs a place to go. As soon as it's overwritten, then it is gone permanently. If you want to delete something so that it won't be recoverable, you can either directly overwrite it, or overwrite all the free space on your hard drive. You must be careful about simply overwriting files though, as files are moved around by the OS during normal use. If this happens, the old copy won't be securely overwritten. A good program for overwriting files, and overwriting all free space, is Eraser. This URL. A good program for overwriting entire hard drives, perhaps before selling them, is datarecovery and Nuke. Be very careful with this program. Its name is quite accurate. Don't use it unless you are certain you don't want any data on a computer. There are often debates about if data can still be recovered after a single overwrite. The fact is, this has never been publicly done on a modern disk. Peter Gutman wrote a paper about this, and one of the methods is named for him. You can read his paper here. This URL. This is what he has to say about multiple pass overkill. In the time since this paper was published, some people have treated the 35 pass overwrite technique described in it more as a kind of voodoo incantation to banish evil spirits than the result of a technical analysis of drive encoding techniques. As a result, they advocate applying the voodoo to PRML and APROL drives, even though it will have no more effect than a simple scrubbing with random data. In fact, performing the full 35 pass overwrite is pointless. or any drive, since it targets a blend of scenarios involving all types of normally used encoding technology, which covers everything back to 30-plus-year-old MFM methods. If you don't understand that statement, reread the paper. If you're using a drive which uses encoding technology X, you only need to perform the passes specific to X, and you never need to perform all 35 passes. For any modern PRML/APROM drive, a few passes of random scrubbing is the best you can do. As the paper says, a good scrubbing with random data will do about as well as can be expected. This was true in 1996, and is still true now.
It depends on what you mean by deleted. In most OCs, files are deleted by being moved to a trash folder, specifically so they can be recovered later by the user. Once the trash contents is deleted, the blocks containing the data are marked as available, but with their contents intact. To make the data unreadable, the user must securely delete the file or the trash folder containing it, if the OS offers that option. If not, those blocks will eventually get reused and overwritten by new data, but that could take a long time, and meanwhile, the data in those blocks could be found and read.
If you want to support channel, please consider subscribing.